Wait for it. Nothing. I thought maybe if I said wait for it, you'd think, oh, what's he gonna do? Besides scream at me, apparently. Now my microphone's too loud. Well, it was yesterday, too. We're gonna start the show here in just a moment. As soon as Bob gets here. I'm just holding his place and screaming. I have to turn down the volume more. It looked good a second ago. Looked good for what, you ask? Well, I'm talking about... That's right. Okay. So, as is being discussed in the message area, milestone episode today, because look, I may do a law of attraction Q&A tomorrow morning, if just depends on how today goes. But I'm guessing the way I know that I operate, I'm probably going to want to have everything all shut down and ready to go. But we'll see. But anyway, so it's certainly the last kind of version of the Bob Doyle Show. Maybe that's the way to describe it. I've got, the law of attraction stuff, and then I got the wah. So when I go on talk shows and people say, Bob, it's great to have you here. It was not easy to get you, and I'll say, I know. It's what it is. And they say, look, we totally get it. Yeah, that's right. I forgot what I was going to say. Look, I got a lot on my mind right now, okay? I'm looking around, and it's just boxes, And, the anxiety point is I've still got my studio set up, obviously, because here I am. And today will be my last day of voiceover, and then I'll be on vacation mode for 3 days and just kind of off the grid. And, I'm looking at it going, boy, it's like everything still to do. And thinking that, like, in a few days from now, it will all be done. It's kind of mind-blowing. So, just kind of organizing it all in my head, it keeps me a bit scattered, but here we are together. So, it's not so much a Tech Tuesday, although we may jump in there. But look, Christina! But that picture doesn't look too sharp. Looks a little, I'm doing it a different way today. For reasons which may become apparent later to me and not to you. So why did I bring it up? Hi, Lynn. So here we've got, wow, it's so nice to have you all. And David, what did I do today? What did I do differently today that all of these people are showing up? Now look, you guys don't go anywhere. Because I have something great planned and it'll be worth it? No. Just don't. I mean, you clicked, you got it this far. This is the only time you can have this moment. Am I right, everyone? Right. They're all saying right. Hold on a second. Oh, okay, now I understand. Dawn says vacation mode. Yeah, not my idea of a vacation, because yes, I'm going into vacation mode on Fiverr, but how much of a vacation is it when I'm schlepping stuff? Right. I got it. Right. So, wow, and Steve and Leanne and everybody. Oh, what a beautiful morning. See, another calling I missed. Even though I said, even though just yesterday, basically, I trash talk musical theater. Clearly, it's what I was meant to do. Right? I mean, come on. Look at me. I'm just like made for the stage. Right? I mean, I should be, well, now I have to, I missed, the whole young people part. So now I don't know. Who am I playing? My Fair Lady. Who's the guy? That guy. Wow. Okay, so anyway, now, yesterday I threw out a question, and I'd really like to address it. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remind you of the question from yesterday, and for those of you who weren't here, you can ponder the question yourself. And then we'll revisit it after I talk about some other nonsense, which will also invite your involvement. We get to share stories. It's going to be so much fun if you participate. Otherwise, you may look back on this as the worst day of your life. which would suck because that is so not my intention. Yesterday's question was, if you could go back in time and say one sentence to your younger self, and I define that as lower than 20 years old. Younger than 20 years old. But one sentence, you can't extrapolate and tell the story. As I've been thinking about this the past 24 hours, I've finally got, I think, what I would go with, which I'll share, obviously. But it would be so much more effective if I could just say 3 or 4 more sentences about it and tell them this is what's going to happen if you, or whatever. And I almost want to make the rule that it's not, you can't warn them about a thing that's going to happen. It's really about guiding them. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't put any restrictions on it. No restrictions. Whatever the hell. Sorry. Huh. Wow, Bob. Did I just overstep a boundary or what? I owe you an apology. And that's why I said sorry about 10 times. Okay, what do you want me to just wallow in it? What makes Vegas so special, Barb says. And just because I can, I'll share that with you to prove it that she said it. You know what? I'm excited about Vegas because I'm going to create a bunch of opportunity for myself there. That I might have been able to get started here, but, it's a different vibe. And so I'm looking to do all kinds of fun stuff there. I know enough people there that can introduce me to a lot of people, so it's really just a nice, exciting idea for me to be there. And then, but ask me again in June when the sun comes out really, 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 really strong. And then I'll check in with you on the Vegas thing. Okay, so this is great. Anyway, the idea is that you can't explain why you're telling them this one sentence. You can only tell them the one sentence. And Leanne said, I tell myself, meditate every day and read A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Right? And she's got her reasons for that. And you want it to make an impact, but the thing is, you think about the scenario as realistically as possible. Okay? You're whatever age you're going back to. Now you appear in front of yourself. Now that's going to freak you out. So let's just kind of take the full-on freak out that you're going to have sort of out of it, and just let's get to the part where you accept, okay, this is happening. And now you're listening to your future self say one sentence, and then poof, they're gone. Now, I think the idea is that you wouldn't remember the meeting, but you would remember the sentence. It would just be embedded in you. And you'd know. So I'm just putting parameters around it. Is everybody clear? Does everybody understand the parameter? You get to go back. You get to tell your pre-20 self one sentence. And then you're gone. They'll remember the sentence, and they can do with it what they will. And that's the thing. Will it make impact? Will they take it? Will they act on it? You don't know. Forget about how it's going to change your future and vanish you if they do something different. Okay, let's just take that part out of it. And let's just explore the question for the reason it was asked. Dawn says, I did my sentence pre-show and there's no way it would fit on the screen. See, that's the whole idea. You want it to be concise, right? Yesterday when I brought this up, it was like, well, can we do run-on sentences? Which I wish I had seen that comment because I thought it was freaking hilarious. Because, yeah, I mean, so what makes it a sentence? When you put the period at the end? Because I can talk and never end a sentence, as is evidenced every day on this show, day after day after day, with numerous examples that go every... So, but no, you want it like, maybe I should put a time limit on it. You got 10 seconds. Oh, I like that twist. 10 seconds. Now, it's longer than you think. Trust me, I'm a voiceover guy. That should be a bumper sticker. Trust me, I'm a voiceover guy. What? People would just, But isn't it fun to make people scratch their heads a little bit? Leanne says, see, this is a good one. Don't drink tequila. Boom. I like that one a lot. Right? Because really, this whole thing should be coming from, you got one sentence. So you're really trying to make an impact. So the thing that you're talking and advising them about, you want to look at and go, wow, if I had done things differently, if I had looked at things differently, it would have had a tremendous impact. How can I communicate that? And again, they'll get to experience it in another dimension. You did your thing, and your life's going to stay the same, okay? You're just trying to do yourself a favor. What's that sentence? I don't know why this made me giggle. I mean, I've heard people say this all the time, but I guess we just want to throw it into the show. Well, let's see. Let's see. Spend more time with mom and dad. See, this is a good one. See, that one has heart. You see? See, we got a little emotion in there. Who else? Steve. Oh, beautiful. Don't worry about anything. Wow, you know, that's not the one I had, but that would be like number 1.5. That's a good one. Dagny, don't smoke cigs. Now, Dagny, would you have listened to yourself? I mean, if you just said that, would you have listened to yourself? Especially if you forget that it was like this magical thing of you meeting yourself. It's just, I don't know how to describe how it sits with you, but I'm just hoping you get it. It seems like you do. And this is just, a true thing that I'm going to throw into the mix because Dawn said it. Hey, we got Fish Finder on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Fish Finder. Isn't that fun? Fish Finder. You find them. Me first, women second. I don't get it, but I'm going to try. All right. So, read, be here now. See, good advice. So, Dawn, is this what you say to yourself? No regrets? Sorry, that flashed up there really quick. Oh, here. Oh, see, I missed a bunch of them, so I'm going back. Sarah said, I would tell... Sarah said, Jesus, that's not what she said. Sarah said, I would tell her she... Sarah said, oh, no. Oh, dear God. Sarah said, I would tell her she is enough and absolutely doesn't have to struggle to prove herself and to be accepted. Ah, for crying out loud. That was ridiculous. All right. Those are all good. You want to hear the one I would choose? The one that I came up with. And I used to go around saying all the time, just because of the things that I've learned in my life and my experiences, it was all about, I had gotten it down to 2 words. And if I only had 2 words, it would be these 2. And it was choose wisely, right? But we get a whole sentence, and I got at least 10 seconds. So it would be along the lines of, carefully consider the long-term consequences of your choices. That, to me, it covers a lot. You know, I don't know if that would have made an impact on me. You know, it's like, but man, oh man, if you could tell your younger self, think this through, right? But maybe we just don't, you know, at that age, you just don't have the wiring for it. I don't know. I mean, some people clearly do. But you know, if you're set in your ways and you've got your habits and your patterns, and the best advice can be given to you. I mean, how many of us have made choices in our lives, even though society, our parents, everybody told us not to do it, or guided us in other areas of choice, you know, but we just did it anyway because we wanted to, and we, needed to learn the lesson, I guess. But if you had this opportunity to go back and say that one thing. All right, so what else we got? Now I have to scroll up because of that technical disaster. Oh, nice, Catherine. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, but they may not get that, right? Would you have gotten that? That's something you would definitely get later. But how would you even, maybe you would have gotten it. I don't know if somebody had said that to me, I would have wanted a little bit more information. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. I don't understand this statement, but it's hilarious because the next thing I want to talk about is lying. So that's what a great segue. Fishfinder says, think with your brain, not with your head. Oh, wait, I didn't do that correctly. Think with your brain, not with your head. I would love to have 2 or 3 more sentences to flesh that out because I wouldn't know what that meant. But I think I get something, but I'd like to understand it. All right, anything else? Anything else? Let's see. I don't want to miss anything because I asked you and you did it. Okay, there's another page. Speaking of another page, one moment please as I try and get this together. Remember this? I'm actually asking, this isn't just about telling you to go to the Bob Doyle Show. I'm literally, seriously asking you for a favor. And anyone can do it, and you can do it now or you can do it whenever. This is the Bob Doyle Show page. It needs just a ton of work. I mean, basically what it is it just shows you the last episode in the playlist and shows you the Facebook post. I mean, it needs to be created into something that is actually up to the quality and standards of this broadcast. And if any of you are thinking, oh, you're looking for a downgrade, that's just not very nice to say. Point is, what I'm wondering is, if you go here and wait a few seconds, do you still get a pop-up that asks you if you want to be notified when the Bob Doyle Show goes live or something like that? Because I think since I've already visited it, I can't test it myself easily. I think I can go in and figure out some way to turn it on, reset it, but whatever. So if any of you can just go to bobdoyleshow.com, if you haven't been before, that's even better, and just tell me if a little pop-up thing comes up, because that's how I've been notifying people the most about when I go live. And so if it's working still, great. I want you to use it if you're interested in being notified. And if it's not working, I'm going to fix it so it does work. And then one of these days, I'm going to get this site looking how I want. Okay, so I said I was going to talk about lying, but I'm not. I'm just kidding. I am. So this is another one of those questions. I don't know why I keep coming up with these goofy questions. This is so, I don't know, it's like formula. And Bobby doesn't do formula. And neither do I. All right. Dawn says she's been to the page too many times. It won't work for her. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Let me find it. Well, I can't. But Dawn says I'm too innocent to understand Fishfinder's quote. Well, okay, I'm going to Vegas. Check in with me later. We'll just see how long that innocence lasts, right? I'm kidding. All right, now, anyway, what was I talking about? Lying. So speaking of childhood, which we were. Do you remember the whole thing about going back and having the one sentence? Were you not? Or maybe you're just joining us live. If you are, hi, I'm Bob Doyle. Welcome to the Bob Doyle Show. You've joined us on a Tuesday morning. We're going to be taking a few days off of the broadcast as I move the studio from Los Angeles, California to Las Vegas, Nevada. But we really are glad you're here, and we hope you'll bookmark this page, like this page, subscribe, and do whatever the hell you has to do to be reminded to come here each and every day from 7:30 to 8 a.m. Pacific time. Why? Well, I don't know what else you're doing currently during that time slot, but I guarantee dadgum to you, it's not as interesting as this. You're going, but this isn't interesting. Look, we're going to get to it. But right now I'm talking to you. So if we can just finish this conversation. People who interrupt, what are you going to do? All right, look. So did you ever... Now, look. I don't think I'm the only one, but if I am, I'm going to feel like a psycho, but okay. I would not consider myself a liar as a child or anything like that, but there were times I chose to lie in my memory. Times I chose, and it was all about just telling these examples are just goofy things. It wasn't to get out of trouble. It was just scenarios, like facts about my experience of life that just never happened that I said did. For whatever reason. And I'm just wondering if any of you did that, and I'm going to give you my examples. And they are ridiculous. Okay, so here we go. Here's example number one. Now, this is true. When I was very young, my friend Bob Bennett, who lived down the street, still connected on Facebook, haven't talked to him in a long time, he told me a story about how he was on a TV show at some point. You know, there used to be a lot of little kid shows, and they'd just kind of bring in local kids, and they'd do a show and whatever. So I think it was one of those, a local cable show. This is my second grade brain remembering this, okay? But I will never forget this part. And he said that it was either him by himself or the group or whatever, the class, the group of kids, whatever it was, sang this song. My big cat had little cats, 3, 6, 9 cats. One wee kitten had no tail. This I choose for my cat. Or chose. Anyway, right? And that, I've never forgotten that from the day he told me. Clearly. But for some reason, so now cut to high school? I don't know. And I'm talking, and I think 2 of the 3 of these, I only told the lie to one person, the same person, my best friend. I had the same best friend, basically, from second grade all the way up till college. And he's the guy I chose to drop these ridiculous, stupid lies on. So, are you thinking about the lies you told, by the way? I got to make sure I'm... Okay. All right, just be thinking. So I told my friend, Robert, that story like it was me. Like when I was little, I was on a show, and I sang that song. I just co-opted Bob. His name was Bob. So Bob, and Robert. What? And currently, my best friend is also named Rob, and it's a different one. I'm pretty cliquish, aren't I? Or pretty name snooty. Well, I'll let you into my space if you have the same name as me. I'm just realizing that, so forgive my self-amusement. So anyway, I co-opted his story, and I held on to that one for, I guess, ever. Because the second one that I'm going to tell you, I did eventually tell him. Because, I mean, first of all, it's so absurd. It's ridiculous that I would choose what I'm about to tell you. But yeah, that I was on TV, and I sang the song. Like, what possible status does that get me? Like, that's the stupidest thing to make up. And then I just kind of had to stick with it, I guess. And that one just sort of faded off, I guess. I don't remember ever... I mean, I might have said, oh, by the way, the whole cat thing, that was somebody else. Anyway. Oh, Loretta came out with, going back to this, to the topic, stop doubting yourself because your heart knows the answer. This is what she would say to her younger self. Okay, so that's one. Are you guys thinking of yours? Because you can share them at any time. If you can distill it into a sentence or two. Or you're going, I never did that, Bob. That's only demon children do that. So the other one, so now when I was in, now, God, I could go off on this tangent for a long time. But so when I was introduced to the Beatles, I am really, really choosing the long way to tell you this. When I learned about the Beatles, it was second grade, and it was from Bob Bennett. And the whole "is Paul dead" thing was going on, right? The whole rumor that Paul McCartney died in a car accident and he was replaced with somebody and and that's not Paul McCartney you're looking at and all that. That whole thing. And the whole thing that all the clues were buried in the songs and you'd listen and I buried Paul and, you know, the whole thing, right? And I was so into that. I could not get, I mean, that was more interesting to me than any of their music was. And that's because the story is what got me interested in them in the first place. And then it was like the songs were like these are the songs that those guys who did this thing wrote. That was truly my relationship to the Beatles. It was all through the conspiracy. So, you know, in years I just loved that story. But and of course I shared that with my other friend Robert. So Bob told me about this, and then Robert and we do the whole thing. And one day I just decided to tell Robert that I used to live in a house, and in the back there was like this bamboo forest. I mean, that's what it was. It was just a patch of bamboo trees, and it wasn't technically on my property, but, you could walk through it or whatever. Remember when we had woods, boys and girls? Anyway, and so Robert knew that we had this bamboo forest. He'd seen it and all that. So one day I told him that this is so dumb. This is so dumb. I think he just wanted to have the fun of believing it for a little while. But I told him that I found a tombstone. I'm going to say, I'm trying to remember my age at this one. A tombstone. Uh-huh. And whose name was on it? That's right. Paul McCartney. Yeah, and I just, so I found that. I just thought I'd tell you. I didn't tell anybody else. It's not in the newspaper or anything like that. I mean, And of course, it would make sense. Of course, it all fits. Stone Mountain, Georgia, that's where the tombstone, Paul McCartney's tombstone, would be. It all just like, oh, why didn't we see it? Of course, we should have been looking there for years. Anyway, I think that one lasted a couple of years. I don't even think I had to say it. I think it was just like, okay, what? Just, all right. So anywho, what's up in Vegas? Ken, you're just going to have to watch all the Bob Doyle shows and catch up. I've already even told the story once today. But there's another whole video. I don't know. There's a video that explains why this move, the whole thing with Lynn and I, and that's on Lynn's timeline and all of that. And then there's why Vegas, right? Not why are you moving anywhere, but then there's like, okay, of all the places, why Vegas? So that's the question I feel like answering on the show. And that's the one I've said, because connections, places, I don't know, opportunity. Because I love the sun. Not so much. Sarah says, oh, I lost my report card. So that was a to get out of trouble one. Yeah, that's another whole category to me, because I know I just tons of those. Because, am I right, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing worse than getting in trouble. Getting in trouble? Being called out for doing something wrong? The worst. Because you get punished for it. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be financial. You get in trouble. The worst. What am I talking about? All right, Loretta. Now, I don't have anything. I'm just going to strum it in the background. Don's got his brain in my guitar. Okay, so wait, Fish Finder strikes again. Don's got his brain in my guitar. Don's got his brain in my guitar. Don's got his brain in my guitar. But Don has got his brain in my guitar. Will he get very far? Will he subsist on tar? Look, when I start getting paid for this, I'll do a better job. Okay? Okay. I'm abusing my power of pinning comments to get to you. Oh, I see. This is called, that is what it's called, but I don't know how to spell it, and I don't know how to write it down, so somebody figured that out. Dawn has her brain in the gutter is what Fish Finder was trying to say. That's a clunky line. Dawn has her brain in the gutter is what Fish Finder was trying to say. I did fine. Yay, thank you. All right, so Loretta's ukulele itch has been scratched. That's right, I said those words in a row. Look. I already said I'm losing my mind, right? Oh, I didn't get to that part. Oh yeah, by the way, I meant to start the show. It's official. Yeah, I got the results back. I took an online test. AreYouLosingYourMind.com, and there's like a 75 question multiple choice, and yeah, they give you results, and it was clear. So. Then they say like a course, how to fix your mind, and so I took that. And now I'm good. So it was really reasonable. It was like 9 payments of $999,000. But you get your brain fixed. So that's a small price to pay. Small price to pay. It was Monopoly money too, which I thought was weird, but convenient because who has that other kind of cash laying around? I probably should have been suspicious because I'm like, where are you guys going to spend that anyway? But you know what? It's not up to me to question. Maybe they live in Monopoly. Who knows? I can't just judge everybody. I have to be. That can only be like people who walk by me on the airport. On the airport. Not in a plane. But people who walk by me on the airport. Luckily, it's not that many people. Because first, I'm not by the airport all that much, let alone on it. And then when I am on it, very rare, there's hardly anybody else up there, and until the security guard comes. Look at that, I'm running late, and I had no idea. Well, that's how these have been this week, or the past few days. Like, seems we just get started. Then, before you know it, comes a time we have to say, so long. Okay, so I may do a Law of Attraction Q&A tomorrow. I may not. I reserve the right to make that choice in the moment. But if I don't, then the next time I see you guys will be on, who knows? I mean, I may just pop on during the weekend whenever I'm set up just to say, hey, I'm here. But the next official Bob Doyle show will be next Monday at 7:30 a.m. right here. So gather your friends and family and your loved ones for the next exciting Bob Doyle show originating from Las Vegas, Nevada.